The Honor 20 Lite is the low-cost version of Honor 20. The Honor 20 Lite is designed to offer the basic look, feel and feature that can be found on modern flagship phones in a budget-friendly package. Its 6.21-inch LCD screen is big, plenty bright enough and well-balanced. A full HD+ resolution offers ample pixels for all. You have a 24-megapixel 1.8 aperture main sensor and an 8-megapixel wide-angle lens and another one with 2-megapixel sensor. One of the three sensors, the 2-megapixel one, is purely for depth detection. Selfie camera, which really shows the company targeting at young audiences for this phone. It's technically got the same AI smarts and HDR capabilities as the rear array. The Honor 20 Lite has EMUI software sitting on top of Android 9. EMUI 9.0 is cleaner and more fluid than it used to be. It also has its unique advantages with an ability to tweak the phone's settings and general appearance with themes in a way that stock Android cannot do. It runs on the Kirin 710 chipset from Huawei subsidiary HiSilicon. The Honor 20 Lite packs 4GB of RAM, which is a considerable bump up from 3GB of Honor 10 Lite. The Honor 20 Lite is another well-balanced, desirable budget phone with a standout camera. Huawei Nova 5 smartphone was launched on 21st June 2019. The phone comes with a 6.39-inch touchscreen display with a resolution of 1080 by 2340 pixels at a pixel density of 403 pixels per inch and an aspect ratio of 19.5 by 9. Huawei Nova 5 is powered by a 1.88 GHz octa-core HiSilicon Kirin 810 processor that features 2 cores clocked at 2.27 GHz and 6 cores clocked at 1.88 GHz. It comes with 8GB of RAM. The Huawei Nova 5 runs Android 9 Pie and is powered by 3500 mAh battery. The Huawei Nova 5 supports proprietary fast charging. As far as the cameras are concerned, the Huawei Nova 5 on the rear packs a 48-megapixel primary camera with an 1.8 aperture, a second 16-megapixel camera with an 2.2 aperture, and a third 2-megapixel camera with an 2.4 aperture. And there is a fourth 2-megapixel camera with an 2.4 aperture. The rear camera setup has laser autofocus. It sports a 32-megapixel camera on the front for selfies with an 2.0 aperture. The Huawei Nova 5 runs EMUI based on Android 9 Pie and packs 128GB of inbuilt storage that can be expanded via microSD card up to 256GB. The Huawei Nova 5 is a dual SIM smartphone that accepts nano SIM and micro SIM cards. In today's competitive phone market, the Nova needs to be cheaper, but it's a fine device with no big drawbacks. The Honor U20 is one of the first flagship phones of 2019. This phone is bold and eye-catching. A punch-hole display also gives the U20 among the highest screen-to-surface ratios around. This phone has a rear fingerprint scanner pad on the back. This phone has a 6.4-inch screen of 1080 by 2310 resolution. It's an LCD rather than an OLED. This phone packs a 4000 mAh battery. It has two rear cameras, one is 48-megapixel IMX586 main camera, but the second is a time-of-flight 3D camera. Cameras has an AI scene mode, which attempts to recognize the subject. You can shoot video at up to 1080p at 60 fps or 4K at 30 fps. In the front, there is a 25-megapixel selfie camera. Selfie quality is good and it handles low light conditions well. This phone runs Android 9.0 with Magic UI 2.0 resting on top. This is Honor's own version of EMUI software used in Huawei phones. The Honor U20 has a HiSilicon Kirin 980 chipset. Huawei's Mate 20 Pro uses the same CPU. There are two variants of this phone. One is 8GB of RAM and 256GB of storage. Another one is 6GB of RAM and 128GB of storage. There's no official water resistance, no wide-angle camera and no wireless charging. Still, the U20 is one of the best Honor phones to date. The Huawei P30 Pro is the best smartphone when it comes to photography. The Huawei P30 Pro is so close to being the best smartphone right now, and for some people it's already in the top spot. It's the best phone we have used when it comes to photography with 5x and 10x zoom capabilities and fantastic low light performance. The large 6.47-inch screen on the P30 Pro may only have a full HD+ resolution, but it's bright, clear and colorful, providing an excellent canvas for your apps and games. The Huawei P30 Pro packs a 4200 mAh battery, which is larger than those in pretty much all of its rivals. The Huawei P30 Pro packs in a Kirin 980 chipset and 8GB of RAM, giving the handset plenty of power under the hood. This means the P30 Pro is capable of handling any app you throw at it, with fast load times and the ability to render graphically demanding games such as PUBG on the highest settings without skipping a bit. There's no worry when it comes to P30 Pro potentially running out of juice. The battery life here is excellent. The Huawei P30 Pro's standout feature is its camera setup. It's the feature Huawei is marketing the phone around, and for good reason, as a camera phone it's excellent. On the rear, you will find a quad camera array comprising of 40MP main sensor, 8MP telephoto camera, 20MP ultra-wide-angle lens, and time-on-flight depth sensing camera. The cameras of P30 Pro sets a new standard for the entire mobile industry. Its 4 rear cameras are quite simply astonishing. The design is eye-catching and powerful. It is providing good 5x and 10x zoom, and a digital 50x zoom, which gets you insanely close to the objects far off in the distance. Its low light capabilities are also top-notch. The P30 Pro not only sets a new standard for Huawei, it sets a new standard for the entire mobile industry. It's a true flagship